Good evening. Let's call the June O&J Roberts Board of School Directors regular business meeting agenda to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join us in a moment of silence as we reflect on those serving in the United States Armed Forces, both past and present, the elected leaders of the state of Pennsylvania, and the elected leaders of our nation. We have much to be thankful for in our community. Thank you. Takes us to item 3.1, executive session announcement. Board met in executive session on Monday, June 3rd at 6:15 p.m. to discuss personnel matters. Monday, June 10th, at 7:15 p.m. to discuss personnel and legal matters, and Monday, June 24th at 6:30 p.m. to discuss personnel matters. Item 4, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Christian.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. Item 4.1, the Superintendent's Report. On June 14th, we congratulated 350 seniors as they graduated from O&J Roberts High School in the 58th annual commencement exercises. The campus is not asleep, even though we're in over summer break. We have 575 students registered for summer programs. So we have students attending every day, starting today through mid-August when our fall sports teams pick back up at the high school. Our extended school year will begin for our special education students on July 8th. On June 19th, the O&J Roberts administrative team met with local and state police authorities as we reviewed our annual memorandum of understanding to ensure that we have good cooperation among all of our municipalities to ensure that we have safe schools. And finally, our upcoming edition of The Advocate will be highlighting all the items around graduation, which will include scholarships, colleges that our graduates are attending, or in the military or entering the workforce. And we'll be highlighting about 15 seniors that represents a nice sampling of the graduating class and their accomplishments in music, in athletics, and academics, and service learning. Item 4.2, recognition. Congratulations to East Coventry and North Coventry Elementary Schools who were recognized at the 2013 PAPBS Network Implementers Forum for meeting the criteria for implementing school-wide positive behavior interventions and support with fidelity at the university systems level, Tier 1, during the 2012-2013 school year. They were recognized at the forum and received a banner to display in their schools. We have Dr. Lloyd here and Mr. Oswald. Congratulations to you and your staff for your fine efforts. I believe Dr. Lloyd has the banner. I tried to get her to put the banner up. Starting this week, each of our elementary schools and the middle school, under Dr. Acosta and the principal's direction, will be taking part in Obeas training. It's a refresher course for some of our faculty, and it will be a new course for some of them so that we can kick off the year with continuing our strong anti-bullying and anti-cyberbullying efforts. Nextly, for recognition, we have congratulations to our athletes, particularly in the areas of track and field. I believe we have Mr. Marco here to recognize some of our student athletes. Please do.
Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce our ladies who are Pac-10 champions for the 2013 track and field season. Like Dr. Christian said, my name is Mr. Marco, speaking on behalf of the track and field team as well. Quickly, I'll just go through. We had a very successful season. We had multiple Pac-10 championship winners, district champions, and state medalists. Here is Maddie Cobb, who was the 100 and 200 meter Pac-10 champion at the Pennsylvania District 1 meet. She finished 7th in the 100 meter dash, qualified for the state championships, made it all the way to the state semifinal. And we have Holly Sullivan, who was the Pac-10 champion in the 400 meters, where she set a Pac-10 meet record, the 800 meters, and the long jump. And she was district champion in the long jump and a state medalist at the long jump at Shippensburg University at the end of May. Also, not here this evening, but other people that won Pac-10 titles was the girls 4x1 of Taja Thompson, Hannah Glass, Jill Weston, and Maddie Cobb. Maddie Cobb was the anchor. And Jill Weston also won a Pac-10 title in the 300 hurdles. And she also placed second at the district meet, which qualified her for the state championships as well in the 300-meter hurdles. We also had a 4x8 team, 4x800 meter run. They placed seventh at the District 1 meet, and they qualified for the state meet, and that was Sarah Taylor, Jill Weston, Rachel Malampy, and Holly Sullivan. And we also had one boy make the state track and field meet, Noah Greenblatt, who was a senior. He was fourth at the District 1 meet, and he was sixth at the state meet, and he set a school record in the javelin throw, 186 feet at the district meet. So we had a very successful season. The girls are very proud, and the nice thing for the track and field team upcoming, everyone I said is coming back next year except for only 2 people, and these 2 ladies will also be back next year as well. So it's a great honor to be here tonight. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to invite some of our special education teachers to the podium, Candace, and we have Janet Ryan, Kelly Moyer, Joe Lentz, Candace Weiss, and Camille Dean Thomas to recognize a wonderful group of student athletes who performed very well on May 2nd at the Special Olympics.
I don't think I need the mic.
You do.
Pretty loud.
Yeah, but you got to be recorded.
Oh, and I'll try to speak a little bit quieter than normal. I'm Candace Weiss. I'm the high school life skill support teacher, although Joe Lentz, who they mentioned, took over for me at the end of April because I had a baby. So I didn't exactly leave. I was here a lot. And it's an honor to be here again as the students are honored for their participation in the Special Olympics. We have a couple of the athletes tonight. Normally this happens in May, so our participation tonight is a little bit low because everybody's on vacay. But we're just going to announce the students that were able to make it tonight. And I believe that there are some certificates that you can get at the end. So if you want to stand up, or do you want to... Oh, the principals have them. Come on up. Pass those out. So when we say your name, come on up and get your certificate.
From French Creek, we have Lily Wagner. From East Coventry, Samuels Hernandez. And Matthew Schnard. From middle school, we have Cassie Parker. And Grace Couture. And from the high school, Isa Devine. I just want you to know the students do put a lot of time and effort into practicing for the Olympics, and it's a great day for everybody. This was probably our best year ever that we've had. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
And a bunch of the teachers did send pictures over to Donna Brady, so Donna put together a little slideshow of highlights from the day for you. So if you want to take a minute to check that out.
Time, I would like to invite all of our Olympians and their families to go with Mrs. Recton right here in the green. She can take you out. We'd like to get some group photos. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Christian. This takes us to item 5, public comment, and I have one board announcement prior to public comment. The board is pleased to announce that the Meyer Forest litigation has been settled at the recommendation of legal counsel and the district's insurance company. The specific terms thereof cannot be openly discussed as the agreement is subject to confidentiality provision. However, any payment due to Dr. Forest will come from the district's insurance carrier and, importantly, not from the district or taxpayer funds. Again, we are pleased this long-standing matter has based on the alleged conduct of the previous board has been resolved. That takes us to item 5.1, public comment. Information, proposals, and/or statements from individuals or delegations pertaining to items on the agenda. Speakers indicate your name, township of residence, and the items on the agenda in which your comments are addressed. Speakers will be limited to not more than 3 minutes. Okay, takes us to item 6.1, committee reports. 6.1 is Committee of the Whole. The Committee of the Whole meeting was held on June 10th at 6 p.m. in the Administrative Building Boardroom. The following committees met at this time: Buildings and Grounds, Curriculum and Instruction. And there's a draft copy of the minutes attached. 6.2, Building and Grounds Committee. Mr. Kleinfelder.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. As you said, the Buildings and Grounds did meet as part of the Committee of the Whole. There were 3 items. We reviewed a summer project for a construction change order for roofing repairs at several of the facilities. There was a recommendation for a maintenance contract for A.H. Lynch, which is on the agenda for approval tonight. And there's a renewal of professional service agreement with Suburban Water Technology from July 1st, 2012. That's not the right, we didn't get those dates fixed. It's actually, it's July 1st, 13 through June 30th, 14. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Kleinfelder. 6.3, Chester County Intermediate Unit. Mrs. Barkas.
The Chester County Intermediate Unit Board of Directors held its monthly meeting June 19, 2013 at the Educational Service Center in Downingtown. The following items were discussed. We had a presentation of Spectacast, which is an all-digital private network company in North America that can bring dazzling HD titles right to our school auditoriums for free. It's a great way for different clubs that can take a night and do some sort of fundraiser that could maybe support them throughout the entire year. So I passed that information on to Mrs. McInerney, and I also have information for Dr. Christian as well. We acknowledged the retirement of 2 of the IU's key executive staff members. Dr. Alan Sabojin and Dr. Rena Visal were both thanked for their years of dedication and service to the IU and will truly be missed. Our next board meeting will take place on Wednesday, July 17th, 2013 at 8 p.m. at the IU Educational Center in Downingtown. The other thing that I just wanted to mention is that we received Dr. O'Brien's goals for the upcoming year, and we were asked to review them, and then at our next board meeting we're going to rank them and give feedback to Dr. O'Brien, and I've put forth 2 of those items to Dr. Christian so we can receive feedback with regards to a BVA elementary program and a possible IU Chester County Charter School. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mrs. Barkis. 6.4, curriculum and instruction, Mrs. Barkis.
There's no report at this time. We didn't meet this month due to administration staff development, so I will have a report in July.
Thank you, Ms. Barkis. 6.5, extracurricular and interscholastic activities committee.
Yes, Mrs. DeLulo asked that I report for her. The extracurricular and interscholastic athletic committee is continuing to monitor all activities and athletic programs, and there are currently a few openings for advisors and coaches at the middle school and the high school. Mr. Strock will continue to advertise these open positions both internally on the district's secure site as well as in the local newspaper when appropriate. Interviews and hirings will take place over this summer to ensure that all activities are staffed and ready to go in August and throughout the school year. And summer sports camps are underway, and optional practices are available for varsity and junior varsity sports. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Wolf. 6.6, Finance Committee, Mr. Freeze.
No report at this time, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze. 6.7, Legislative and Policy Committee, Mr. LaCoff.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Legislative and Policy Committee met on June 10th at 4:30. We discussed 3 policies. Policy 333, relating to professional development for administrative employees. Policy 806, relating to child and student abuse reporting. And Policy 818, relating to contracted services. All those policies were moved forward for first consideration by the board. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. LaCoff. 6.8, Personnel Committee, Mr. Stone is absent. 6.9, People Services and Special Education Committee, Mrs. Ettinger, who's absent. 6.10, Technology Committee, Mr. Kleinfelder.
I have no report at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Kleinfelder. 6.11, Transportation Committee, Mrs. Wolf.
Yes, I just have a brief year-end summary that Mrs. Crumrine provided for me that I found very interesting about transportation. During the 2012-2013 school year, 88 school buses transported 6,275 students to 84 different programs and schools. Our buses traveled, any idea how far we traveled? 1,492,480 miles. I should have checked to see how many times to the moon and back that was. How many?
Twice.
Twice. Okay. Transportation for the extended school year programs began today, Monday, June 24th. And we are looking forward to another school year of transporting our students efficiently and safely. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Wolf. Takes us to item 7.1, motion to approve recommended routine matters 7.2 through 7.13.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Freeze.
Second.
Second by Mr. LaCoff. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 8.1, motion to approve routine matters 8.2 through 8.5.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Freeze.
Second.
Second by Mr. LaCoff. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Hughes. On 8.5, the dates need to be changed for the service agreement for the Suburban Water. It's correct in the agenda item tonight, but it's wrong on the minutes. So that just needs to be corrected.
Thank you, Mr. Kleinfelder. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 9.1, board communication. Do we have any communication, Mrs. Carmine?
There are no communications, Mr. President.
Thank you. 10.1, board discussion.
Mr. President, I'm motivated looking at Dr. Martini, and I'd like to propose that for the meetings we have in the summer months that they're casual meetings.
So noted, Mr. LaCoff. Thank you.
Business casual.
Okay. 11.1, old business. Any old business? Mrs. Crumwine, no old business? Thank you. 12.1, motion to approve personnel matters 12.2 through 12.14.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. LaCoff, second by Mr. Kleinfelder. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We'll start with a couple of retirements. Mrs. Clark. So Mrs. Clark, okay. Mrs. Hale. Whereas Catherine Hale, as an employee of the Owen J. Roberts School District for the past 20 years and 7 months, has made significant contribution to the students of this district. And whereas Mrs. Hale has given unselfishly of her time, talents, and energies in serving the youth of our community by performing her job at the best of her ability. And whereas Mrs. Hale has made a great impact upon the Owen J. Roberts School District now and in the future. And whereas Mrs. Hale's retirement is richly deserved and recognized as one of high honor and distinction. Therefore, it be resolved that the Owen J. Roberts Board of School Directors, the administration, and the fellow employees of the Owen J. Roberts School District express deep appreciation to Mrs. Hale for 20 years and 7 months of loyal service and wish Mrs. Hale good health and continued success in future endeavors. Be it further resolved that the 18th day of November 2013 be officially declared Catherine Hale Day in the Owen J. Roberts School District. Congratulations, Mrs. Hale. Mrs. Miller. Whereas Elizabeth Miller, as an employee of the Owen J. Roberts School District for the past 21 years, has made a significant contribution to the students and the district. And whereas Mrs. Miller has given unselfishly of her time, talents, and energies in serving the youth of our community by performing her job to the best of her ability. And whereas Mrs. Miller has made a great impact on the Owen J. Roberts School District now and in the future. And whereas Mrs. Miller's retirement is richly deserved and recognized as one of high honor and distinction. Therefore, it be resolved that the Owen J. Roberts Board of School Directors, the administration, and the fellow employees of the Owen J. Roberts School District express deep appreciation to Elizabeth Miller for 21 years of loyal service and wish Mrs. Miller good health and continued success in her future endeavors. Be it further resolved that the 25th day of June 2013 be officially declared Elizabeth Miller Day in the Owen J. Roberts School District. Congratulations. Takes us to new business, 13.1, approval of policies.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. LaCoff, second by Mr. Kleinfelder. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 13.2, approval of insurance company settlement agreement and release.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Barkis,
Second.
second by Mr. LaCoff. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 13.3, approval for authorization of budget transfers, fund transfers, and GASB 54 committed fund balance amounts associated with the final audited financial statements.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Freeze, second by Mr. Kleinfelder. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 13.4, approval of student activity clubs and organizations.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. LaCoff, seconded by Mr. Kleinfelder. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 13.5, approval of district insurance policies.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. LaCoff,
Second.
second by Mrs. Barkis. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 13.6, approval of change order. Moved by Mr. Kleinfelder, second by Mr. Freeze. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 13.7, approval of out-of-state and overnight trips, or overnight student trips.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. LaCoff, second by Mrs. Barkis. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 13.8, approval of conference attendance.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. LaCoff, second by Mr. Kleinfelder. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 13.9, acknowledge receipt and reward of request for proposal for publication of yearbooks.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Kleinfelder, second by Mr. Lecoff.
Yes.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 13.10, acknowledge a receipt and award of quote for orange juice, drink, and dairy products. Moved by Mrs. Barkis.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lecoff. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 13.11, approval of rate of pay for dental and medical examiners and sports physicals. Moved by Mrs. Barkis.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lecoff. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 13.12, approval of professional services and/or maintenance agreements. Moved by Mr. Freeze.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lecoff. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Takes us to item 14, 14.1, public comment. Informations, proposals, and statements and/or questions from individuals or delegations pertaining to any item. Speakers indicate their name and township of residence. Speakers will be limited to not more than 3 minutes. 15.1, board request for information.
Mr. President, we're drawing to a close on the fiscal year, and as we begin the new one, I'd like to have preparation, enough time for those items that we have to put out RFPs for before the December meetings. Whatever is on Mrs. Crumrine's schedule, let's get moving on items that we may or may not have missed, whether they're budget items or RFPs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lecoff. That takes us to item 16.1, adjournment. Moved by Mr. Freeze.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lecoff. We are adjourned. Thank you.